Hello and welcome back to Simply Gregster EV. We are still here in Norway, and I wanted to do a piece on the absolutely crazy EV charging sites that they have here in Norway. Now this is going to be a compilation of different sites that we visited over the course of the trip, but we're going to start with this one here in Bergen because it is ridiculously cool and extremely busy. Let's get into these Norwegian charging sites. Let's go. The site we are at currently is just outside of the city center of Bergen, and it is absolutely rammed here. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 posts that do power sharing. So you could charge 12 cars here. You can do another 4 cars there. You can do another 6 cars there. And we have the Lucid already plugged in. It was a bit annoying getting initializing the charge, but once I figured it out that you have to pay first, choose your connector, then plug in, it worked perfectly fine now. So let's see what we're getting in terms of power. Probably nothing much, 40% state of charge, but the battery in the car is stone cold. It's been sitting for 2 days. We haven't been driving, but just look at this place. You're right next to the main road into Bergen, and it just goes on and on and on. We're going to go over here. I'm trying not to film people, but you have ABB equipment. If you're familiar with Electrify Canada, Electrify America, this is all ABB equipment here. You have this electrician, and this is an overview of the site from here. As you see, it's just absolutely massive. And it looks like they kept legacy equipment. Well, over there of the Terra 184s, they kept the legacy equipment. Then they probably installed this higher speed stuff later on. And now you have the new equipment, which is actually made by a company called Delta, I believe. Let's go check out if we could get any power information off of it. We'll go over here. But this is just absolutely massive. And there's sites like this everywhere in Norway. And not just off the highways, like we're in an urban center here off the main road. And here we go, Delta Electronics, Netherlands, made in Slovakia, 2x CCS, 920 volts, 500 amp max. That means these cables should be rated for, these are, 375 amp cables. So I'm not too sure. Yeah, it should do via 300 kilowatts. I got confused for a second. I thought it was 500 because I have already seen these in Denmark, so I thought it was 500. That's my mistake. Still at 81 kilowatts, but just absolutely massive. We have the ID Buzz charging up there. We got Skoda Enyaq as well, and it's 9:20 in the morning, roughly 9:20 in the morning, and you have all these EVs charging up to start their day. UX300E, I've never seen one of those. That's charging off of Chatamo, and these ones are 200 kilowatt here, and it looks like these ones have 4 connectors. Well, they have 4 connectors, so two Chatamo, 2 CCS, old Renault Zoe charging up. We have the legacy equipment here, so this is going to be one of the first stops that we're going to film on these insane Norwegian EV charging sites. Absolutely wild stuff. I don't think this needs to be a separate video in itself, but we'll just throw this in there into our greatest hits compilation here from Bergen. I previously mentioned earlier, people in Norway really don't seem to do these deep charges. They'll stop for, I don't know, 10-12 minutes, charge up, and continue going, especially when you're out traveling on the road. I mean, we're about 2,500 kilometers into this trip. Probably about 1,000 of that is already driving in Norway. And yeah, charging here is completely different. The whole ideology behind EV charging too is quite different. I mean, just look at this site, what they built, essentially going into the city. And there's sites like this everywhere. I'm not really cherry picking the sites here. You just come across them and you swing back around and you go and film it. But what's also cool is everybody seems to know what their car is capable of taking. They actually know the curves. So you see these slower legacy cars, the older cars, so like that e-Golf, that Electric Soul, the Renault van, they're all charging up on slower speed equipment. You have higher speed equipment there, and you have higher speed equipment here, but everybody seems to know their place in terms of EV charging hierarchy. I mean, obviously, if you have a car that's capable of taking more power, use the more powerful stuff. If you have a car that's charges slower, like the e-Golf or our Mini Cooper back at home, and all that's available is the higher speed stuff, well, you use what you have, and maybe you try to switch it around if it's a busy site. But that's something else I've noticed here in Norway. I just want to point it out. Everybody seems to know how to charge, how the charging works, how the charging curves work, how the charging speeds work. So that's also very, very interesting. So I just want to point that out as well as we finish charging up the Lucid, and we'll bring you more of these EV charging sites in Norway. We'll throw this all into one video, as I previously mentioned, because there's just so many EV charging sites here in Norway. At first I was a bit jaded. I'm like, it's kind of like Quebec, there's nothing. But when you start to actually see it and experience it and use it, there's sites like this everywhere, and it's all new high-speed equipment. It's not a row of 8 50 kilowatt chargers. I mean, it could be in a lot of places, but from what I've seen, it's all high-speed equipment mixed in with legacy stuff that they kept behind. We'll go on to the next site, so stay tuned because we will end up at another site. Let's go. Now we're at a site in Odda, and this is a Kempower recharge site. Recharge is a huge charging provider here in Norway. So you have 1, 2, 3, you have 6 posts. Your Kempower power cabinet is here. I don't know if it's full though, because we're only charging 50 kilowatts on the Lucid, which is very strange. I haven't had an issue or any power derates on the car itself. But this is your typical Norwegian charging site. Kempower is a huge player here. We can't look at any of the power terminals or any of the power cabinets because they're all locked off. We have an ID4 here sitting at 100% as per ID4. You have an ID Buzz in, sitting there at 73 kilowatts. Strange. Well, strange for our car anyways. So we have the ID Buzz here as well. And across here, we have a huge Tesla supercharger with version 4 posts. But this is not the only charging spot in town. There's quite a few of them. But EV charging here in Norway is pretty much absolutely everywhere. I wish that the Lucid would charge better on Tesla superchargers, but unfortunately it doesn't. We're also limited to 50 kilowatts on Tesla superchargers, but this looks like a fairly recent installation. We have this very industrial looking building here that I'm not too sure is doing what. But again, this is another big EV charging site in Norway. These, I don't want to say big, but these are, like I said, everywhere. Every 30, 40 kilometers you have sites like this, so it's not a huge deal to charge here in Norway. As this trip continues, now you join us here in Stavanger, Norway for another massive EV charging park here at Ionity. We're going to go through it. This will be in the series of Norway charging parks. So we'll take you through this site. Let's go. Here we go. This is another one of Norway's insane charging sites here. We got the Lucid plugged in. It's 179 kilowatts. It should go up higher. So this is your typical Ionity 350 kilowatt post. We're at 225 kilowatts now. And it's going to start tapering down hardcore because that's what it has been doing this entire trip. So let's go through the site. We have 12 power cabinets here. So it's 1-to-1 per post. We're on post 12. One's all the way up there. We're going to go check that out. So you have your 12 power cabinets. Awesome, amazing. However, you also have, how many is this? You have 4 Alpitronic Hypercharger 400s, maximum 200 kilowatts per handle. I don't think I've seen that before. I think you could get much more power, but that's just the way they have it set up. So you could plug in 2 cars, 4, 8, plus the other 12 up there. And I would wonder what the power equipment here is in this, what the transformer is. But just the fact that you could plug in so many cars here is absolutely wild. And the crazy part is there are charging parks like this all over Norway. We have used them, and this is the whole point of this video, is to show you this wild infrastructure in Norway, and it's all new. They're building infrastructure here like crazy, and Ionity has been switching to Alpitronic lately. These are going to be the smaller cables for sure. I think these are going to be 375s, 350s actually. These ones here are the Huber Schooner cables. Everything's going well with the Lucid, super, super efficient. Power cabinets are ripping away. We're ripping away here. We're already down to 172 kilowatts, but I just want to give you an example of the state of what's going on here in Norway at the moment. Is that's a gas station and there's nobody there. There's nobody at that gas station. As that I think that's an ID5 that I just rolled in. And you have everyone here charging up for tradespeople. These ID buses with tradespeople are super popular here. I thought that was my neighbor for a second in the Bolt, which is called a Opel Ampera. I didn't know that they rebadged it here. I didn't even know that they sold the Bolt, period, here. And this is your typical EV charging site here in Norway. As I said, you have 12 posts there, plus 8 handles over there on 4 units. You could do a lot of charging here. And the weather is absolutely awful. It is chucking down with rain. It is terrible. It is cold. This is Stavanger. This is right on the sea. This is right on the North Sea. And we got the Lucid here plugging away. And I'm out here doing this all for you. Hopefully the audio comes out on this. I don't lose the windsock on the mic. Lucid has been phenomenal. And this trip is not even over. We still have about, I would say, 1,500 kilometers to cover, 1,700 kilometers to cover before this trip is over. Laura's in the car just booking our hotel because we got here without a hotel booking. So she's taking care of that now. We're down to 163 kilowatts. We've been here 3 minutes, done 10 kilowatt hours of energy. But this is how they're building them here in Norway. Really, really, really wild. There's the ID5 that's charging up there. And as I said, nothing's happening at that gas station. You have a car wash, but there's actually no one pumping gas. Everybody is up here charging the way it should be. The only thing I don't like about this site is I think there is no services or anything like that. Like there's no washrooms or anything like that, considering that you're right off of a main highway here. That's the only thing I don't like about this site. But there's washrooms everywhere here in Norway, so that's not a problem. As I've mentioned, the whole point of the compilation charging site video was to put all the cool EV charging in one video, so I didn't have to keep uploading 1,000 different videos with the same amount of content, because now I already got your attention in one video. So everything is good here. The wind is really picking up. We're at a 29% state of charge after, how long have we been here? 7 minutes already, which is not bad at all. This car charges, I wouldn't say it charges the best, it charges pretty good. I'm going to be honest with that. And we've been preconditioning for a long time as a Mach-E rolls in there. So this is one of the sites here in Stavanger that we'll be bringing you. As we go and see more sites, we'll be bringing you even more. But I think this is a really, really, really cool site. You can do 20 cars here. So there's not a lot of that, at least where I'm from, where you can charge that many cars at one time. Super cool. On to the next site. And we are in downtown Stavanger, I'd say. And there's a bunch of EV charging here. It looks like a older setup, 50 kilowatt ABB Terra 54s, I believe. This looks like an older installation here. A more urban style charging setup. But, you know, it works. Chatamo 22 kilowatt Type 2, which is cool to see. But this is definitely an older installation. But it works and it's here for you to use. We'll walk across the parking lot over here. And nobody's really charging up. It's like 9 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday. We have the electric Peugeot over there. Still haven't driven a French car on this channel yet. There's a Mustang Mach-E that's charging up. And this is a big parking lot. And here, these ones you have, these should be 350 kilowatt ABB with a Huber Schooner cables. Very, very common type of charging setup at home. 2 power cabinets. And it looks like, no, this wasn't a drop-in. So this one will do 50 to 175. This one here, again, 50 to 175. So they probably have it on a split. There's some sort of power sharing going on there. You have this equipment here I've never seen before. This one here will do 75 kilowatts or 50 to 150 on CCS2. Then you have your Chatamo. And I can't see, but I think I've seen these units before. Then you got another one over there. We got this Mach-E, a lot of Mach-E's here, and a lot of F-150 Lightnings that were imported. And you have another 250 kilowatts, but lots of DC charging here. 50 kilowatts isn't the fastest, but in an environment like this, where you just need to top up, or you could wait like half an hour doing something else, it works. There's a lot of equipment here. We are at another site now at a Shell gas station. We have 2 Kempower power cabinets there. We have a bunch of satellite posts over here. So there's 6. There's 6 here, 2, 8. So this is one setup over here. So it's basically 1 power cabinet for every 8 posts. And over here you have another 8 posts. These ones support 400 volt and 800 volt charging, so it's perfect for us. The site down the road actually didn't do 800 volt, which was kind of lame. And this is actually a bit cheaper here to charge up as well, which is even better, because we know we like cheap charging on this channel. So I just figured I will add this in to the video as well. But I'm loving the covered charging. It makes life so much easier. You have no idea how much easier covered charging makes my life. Actually, wait a minute, hold on. There's 2 power cabinets over there that control the 8 posts here, and there's 2 power cabinets that control the 8 posts there. This is a lot of EV charging power here as that John Deere tractor just rolls in. That's a lot of power. So I'm going to assume those are most likely full at 1200 kilowatts. That means these 8 posts could take the full send. Those 8 posts across the parking lot can take the full send as well. That's really impressive. Wow, that's a lot of EV charging power here. That's a lot of EV charging power. Here in Mandal, Norway, at perhaps one of the craziest EV charging setups I have seen here in Norway as we continue our compilation video. This is off the main route between Stavanger and Kristiansand. So we're about 50 kilometers to the west of Kristiansand now, and this place is absolutely rammed. Let's go give it a look of how busy it could get EV charging here. So you have, this is a full Kempower site here, Ionic 6 plugged in. It's absolutely rammed. We tried, I don't need to charge, I tried to plug in just to show you, but it's absolutely full. Look at all the cars charging here. I can't count the amount of cars. We tried to pull into here. This is actually a down stall. This stall is down for whatever reason. There's a wrench icon. Rental Ford Explorer. I would have loved to get one of those. Xpeng here. Xpeng G6 Performance. That's awesome. I wonder what this thing is charging up at. It's got to be up there. Nothing much. This site is maxed out on power. This site is maxed out on power. This one is free now. I guess we could plug into here, but there's no point. But there's just so much going on. Those power cabinets are screaming. Those things for sure are full. So there's probably, I'm going to say, 1200 kilowatts of power here, and this place is absolutely rammed. This is probably one of the busiest EV charging sites I have ever seen on all our travels in Europe, right here. And of course, all you have your Kempower satellites. This place is full. This place is full. I wonder what others are pulling here. 60 kilowatts, 50. So everything is maxed out here. Everything is maxed out like crazy. Like I said, I don't need to charge. Check out this cool Xpeng here in this orange color. Yeah, everything is maxed out in terms of charging here. This one's at 96 kilowatts. So yeah, this is crazy. I've never seen something like this before. This many cars or a site this busy ever. Really, really cool to see. Super cool. I think this will wrap up our crazy Norway EV charging sites video. I wanted to make everything in one compilation because I didn't feel to cover each individual site here in Norway. It's just, I wasn't impressed when I first rolled in. I will admit that I wasn't impressed when we first rolled into Oslo, and it was kind of that site wasn't very nice, but it was very busy. But as we spend more time here in Norway, we've been here a week, the amount of infrastructure, of EV charging infrastructure, is wild, and it really follows the evolution of electric cars in general, because you'll see legacy equipment, then as speeds got higher, you see the tritium stuff, and now you see the LP-tronic stuff, you see the Kempower equipment everywhere. So in many regards, it's sort of like being in Quebec, where it followed where we were early adopters and they just kept that equipment in place, but there's EV charging infrastructure everywhere here, and super impressive. Perhaps the sites aren't those mega mondo sites that we saw in Denmark, but in terms of sheer amounts and sheer volume of EV charging, really impressive. Super cool stuff to see here. We shall see you in one of the next videos that we post. So here we are, bye for now from Mandal, Norway.